What's what's a conclusion that you think is true that you want to talk about?
You got Sinatra up here.
I do now, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, I mean, once you sing, um, you capture the soul of that person. It comes right out of nowhere, and pretty soon you do things that person used to do, like his habits, and it comes from his song and his spirit, and or her. I don't do very many girl songs, but once in a while I've been known to do something. Yeah, I used to sleep at this park at one time in the daytime.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was, it was just hard times in life in general. And what it was is back a long time ago, on Friday, I'd go to a tavern and have a beer. And next thing you know, I didn't know it, but I was an alcoholic for 60 years. And that's what put me in the street dimension, because I went to Job Corps, I got a trade, I got an occupation. I did everything right, but then I walked away from it. The pension, everything, and that was, it was because of alcoholism, and when your marriage don't work and you don't know what it is, life in general teaches you. I'm just lucky to be alive and be able to move on at 60, 66, really. So let's not get that mixed up, because it's not the tire, it's the miles on the tire.
So what was your name again?
Me name. Okay. Well, Jimmy Max.
Jimmy?
Yeah, I've had 3 names in my life. But we'll go by Jimmy Max, because this interview, is right off the gate. I don't know your background, and it doesn't matter. The interview is what counts, and what you're looking for. And so anyway, thanks for conversation.
Yeah, thanks for stopping. So what I'm out here doing today is talking to people about something that's meaningful to them, something that they think is true,
Oh,
and I'm asking questions from a neutral perspective so that we can explore how you arrived at the conclusion and what's supporting your confidence that it's
right,
true.
right.
Does that
And
make sense?
yeah, well, I
Okay.
explained to you the heart um, is the truth from the heart is the strength.
Hmm.
And, it's what you believe in through, I happen to represent the Lord, because He backs me up in the valley of shadow of death. He backs me up, so I gotta respect that, and so that comes from the heart. And
You mentioned that you were a leprechaun.
well, occasionally, because remember, a leprechaun doesn't really talk to nobody, and that's why I say in the future you might You might have a sign telling you like to do the lottery. Someone might tell you a trick about the lottery, uh, but that you take that and lo and behold, the leprechaun might be true.
Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to
Well,
talk about something else?
about well, no, we just cleared it. Basically, you know, you're gonna see some kind of sign in the future because you're thinking of our interview, and if you're sharp enough, you'll see a little twinkle where you should, and then you see how that works, and then just if it don't work after a while, then you got to have it in the heart. You got to believe, oh, that guy, there was something different about him. He believed in what he was talking about through the strength of truth and love. And
Okay.
I wish. My only problem is being single is hard for a man. And every man needs a woman. Every woman needs a man. But you got to learn about how to keep one first. So anyway, next question.
What's a conclusion that you think is true that you want to talk about?
I actually have. I'm at peace with everything except myself, and right now I'm in training because of my past, and I like to talk about God, but I don't want to do it too much. So
Okay.
um, we've covered him. He's with the leprechaun, and he's with you and me right now. So basically, I'm just really thrilled to be able to talk to anybody because I'm a loner. But now the Marines picked me up off my did a heroic rescue down there in the Chehalis Trail. They got the Blackhawk down low. They seen I was surrounded by Samoans. This is at dusk. And they gave me, this was a couple summers ago, he gave me a cover out because they were hunting me, you know. And so when they get down low, they push the forest down, and the Samoans went and hid while I skidded out from them, and I've never been back since. It's a dangerous place at night. The Chehalis Bike Trail is unguarded. It's just like it's a place where you don't need to be by yourself. But they busted the Samoans about a year ago, 2 years ago, about the Chehalis Trail. There's no more homicides, but that doesn't mean you can go down there at night.
Hmm.
Yeah, those people are crazy. They were cannibals over there in their island, so they come over here and they're still got cannibalistic uh, thoughts, by murdering people by knife. I've even offset them so bad on their campaign to get me. I came in the dusk or at dawn. I came in at dawn, and I've seen the Samoans come out on the bike trail, and you could see they were up all night and they're dirty and da 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 da. And lately I seen one coming up. He spotted me, and there's nothing like demonic movement. He was trying to get away from my vision, and it looked like he was on. The vision was, like I said, demonic. Um, his moves were not like real. They were in sections, and he was gone. Because he was discovered on his hunt. So anyway, I played games with death. It's not something you want to do, but it's addicting. And then will it backfire on you? Because I played with death so much as this is how it goes. I'm at a drunk's. I just met a guy off the street. He puts me in his house. They're just about ready to kill me. I'm there about a week because here's the sign of I'm going to kill you. They're using your shit already. Wherever you're sleeping, all your stuff. They're taking it already before they kill you. That means okay. So the last meal goes like this. This is flirting with death. They're going to serve me my last meal, asking me what I got, what I want, and just before they kill me, I tell them I'm going to the store to get a beer, and I never come back.
Mm.
See, so that's the kind of But you know what? You realize you're flirting with death, and you got to stop.
You were talking earlier about afterlife,
Yeah,
like there's an afterlife.
yeah. Well, there's crossroads. There's heaven. There's hell. And go ahead.
Um, is it okay if I ask you questions about that?
Yeah.
What do you
Okay.
what?
There's the afterlife is what you prepare for. If you don't prepare for an afterlife, guess where you end up? You end up at this place called the Crossroads, where I interviewed crossroad people for a couple of months till I was told to stop because I was on a fourth level of a construction site, living there by the Marines. They gave me a place to go. But anyway, the place to go they gave me is where all the crossroad people gathered. And so they all sat there and had me, because here's the problem. I was by myself, I was lonely, and so I made the crossroad people my friends when I shouldn't have because they're already gone. I was told by a bunch of them to get out because I don't belong there. But what I learned there was have an afterlife. Go to church or go somewhere to where you have a place to go to, or you're going to end up. There's a lot of people caught that don't go to church, that don't have an afterlife. They're everywhere. You won't see them unless you're 20 years homeless and you have psychic abilities handed down by God. And you wouldn't believe who else helped me. Was a Native American. Um, their spirit um, gave me psychic ability along with the Lord. So that's why I could talk to you right now. I don't think many people could talk like this. But you're talking to an old dinosaur that maybe I need to say this. This has to get out. I don't know what I'm hiding, but I don't know what you're learning. And so, anyway, I'm just lucky to be alive right now. I'm very grateful. Because if you ask me, this is weird talking to you because today is the start of the fourth quarter of my life.
Hmm.
And it took me a long time. It took me 4 years to fight off drugs and evil at this Marine Corps base to get where I'm at right now today. And I meet you, and you're like, dude, you're like an angel. Okay, so I hate to say it, your slate's clean. You don't seem too evil. Yeah, you don't seem like a serial.
No.
Well, it seems like you're legit, and I can't say that about a lot of people, but I feel through your soul that you got nothing to hide. So
Yeah, I
next,
appreciate that.
yeah, I,
Can I ask a couple quick questions about
yeah,
afterlife?
at the afterlife, yeah.
Um,
Um,
on a scale from 0 to 100, how confident are you that there is an afterlife?
well, there's a lot of dimensions, so I'm very confident because uh, my first experience was on Thanksgiving in my apartment. I woke up and there's these people. I thought they were real people. No, they were crossroad spirits, but they looked real. So anyway, I
Uh,
forgot what you were saying.
is that experience with the crossroads spirits your main reason that supports your confidence in the afterlife being true?
Well, what it is I experimented with my mind and chemicals through the years. And so, like I said, I was handed when I was homeless. I was gifted with psychic ability to keep me alive, and it did. It kept me alive. The Native Americans. When I was on the river in Portland for 15 years, I uncovered um, a Native American grave, which is means you're on a burial ground. Means you violated. Um, and so, anyways, the next question.
Um, I'm interested in the main reason that supports your confidence in the afterlife being real.
Oh, I know it's real because uh, the staff can't see them, and I can because they never had the lifestyle or developed or honed in on the spiritual powers. They're so small that it's hard to harvest them. But I'm alive, so I blame that a lot on psychic ability. because my psychic ability right now is working with you. Um, I don't feel like you're a threat, so I'm still here.
Is your psychic ability the main reason that supports your confidence in the
Well,
afterlife?
yeah, because if I didn't have psychic ability, I wouldn't see these people. In
Okay.
my first experience was a trip because I didn't think you could grab a ghost, but God gave me the power of grabbing a spirit and throwing it out of my room. So,
Okay. So you're very confident that the afterlife is real
oh yeah.
because of your psychic
Well,
abilities.
how else would I come up with? How else would we have crossroad people there unless they didn't have a place to stay? That's what the crossroads are. It's another name for homeless.
Why is psychic ability a good reason to believe in the afterlife?
Because psychic ability is achieved through advancing the mind. So if you have psychic ability, the average person doesn't have that because they have never been pushed into that position of learning it. It's a gift from the spirits for you to keep your life. Because I was associated with organized crime, and I've been hunted for the last 20 years on a marriage that went wrong. Um, by the Puerto Rican girl, she loved me, but I didn't love her.
Um, could somebody have psychic ability and the afterlife not exist?
It, if they have psychic, they could see it, but if they don't have it, then they won't experience it. It's not in their life. You only get it if you need it, to live. How
Is
bad do you want to live,
is there a way to tell if the afterlife doesn't exist?
Yeah, you go to church and God will tell you. That's why they got God for a place to go. That's what I learned from these people is if you don't have a place, if you don't go to church on Sunday, you're going to end up at the crossroads. Well, I
Okay.
don't know if there's any place to go to except a temple from Hitler. You know, you know what I mean?
Um,
Hitler tested all his people. I happened to marry a pure-blooded German girl who gave me a son that was 6'4", 350 pounds. She was full-blooded German. I'm full-blooded Irish. So I'm 5'8". She's anyway. This big old kid came out, and the German, her German past haunted our marriage. Of course, if you don't go to the Super Bowl your first time you touch the football, in your first relationship, it's the same way. You're not going to win it until you get some experience. And that happens to be a marriage. I mean, are you married? Oh, wait a minute. You're doing the questions. Never mind. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Excuse me, sir.
um, this might sound like a blunt question,
Go
but
ahead,
but
man.
it generally comes
It'll be fine.
from curiosity. Um, do you have a way to tell if you're wrong about the afterlife?
You know, it's a Catholic place, and I often think these people coming in as spirits are, it's all a prop by the church because they can't kick you out
Hmm.
um, because your military background. They have to make you. Sometimes I think they're not spirits, but why else would they tell you? You know, we have no place to go, and why else? The only reason why I recognize them because I was lonely. Bum 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 dum dee da. Only the lonely, only the
So you
lonely.
do more than just Frank Sinatra.
Oh no, I do, oh, dude. I do Coolin. I'm from a rare breed of. I was the first white boy to ever have a black girlfriend, and walk down Harlem, Main Street, and not get mugged by the blacks because I was a West Coast welterweight. I was raised in their family. I grew up in a culture of blacks. Why else can you get a white boy that's a Marine, a West Coast welterweight champ, a graduate of Job Corps? The black culture tested me to the max. I'm not prejudiced. I'm part black. You're looking at a white boy that has a black culture. I sing. I don't know. Have you ever heard of a guy called Jerry Reed?
Jerry Reed.
Yeah, Jerry Reed's a guy that was
So,
Burt Reynolds' best friend. Burt Reynolds was the actor from the 60s, 70s, and Jerry Reed was a country boy from the South, and he sang this song. Let's see, are you good with songs?
um,
Okay, this song was by Jerry Reed. It's called Amos Moses. And Amos Moses is the Cajun. He lived by himself in the swamp. He hunted alligator for a living. They just knock him in the head with the stump. Ah, Louisiana law gonna get you, Amos. It ain't legal hunting alligator down in the swamp water. Now everybody blames his old man for making him mean as. Now this is country. How could you sing? We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. Yeah, yeah. Celebrate good times. Come on. Okay,
now I recognize that one.
that's cool in the game.
Yeah.
So how can you go black and then go country? There's, but Amos Moses by Jerry Reed um, is a perfect example of country, and then soul. Um, right there's a rare mix. I'm just blessed. How do these crossroad people come? Because I was on the fourth level. Why could I see them? Because I had opened my mind to other dimensions before that. The mind of substance plus the mind of you're trying to live, you're trying to survive. People are hunting you. Remember my ex mafia chick wants me dead. She killed my brother. Right now I'm trying to. You might be my ticket to this. Do you got a business card? But I need help prosecuting. It's what it is a cold case of my brother's murder. I know who killed him, and I can prove it. But I've been running for like 15 years, and that's another bag of worms. We'll just skip that for now.
Okay.
Back to your interview on what was the question?
Well, I guess another question I would have is there a way to is there a way to test to see if the afterlife is real?
Okay, so they told me not to come back. I shouldn't be there because I'm not in that dimension. I don't see right now. I don't want to violate that privilege they gave me.
What's the test?
Well, the test would be start being an alcoholic and doing substance so I could see them, and then after that, but I wouldn't do it. I can't do it because I needed a friend, but I don't need a friend that bad to misrepresent my spirit to God and what's right and what's wrong. You know.
Is there a way that we could tell that the test failed?
Well, we're not going to test, first of all, because they've told me not to, and I don't need that on my back as I pass the door, onto the next dimension. What I need to do is,
You were told not to test it?
well, they told me you don't need to be here, and that's right. I'm not gone. You're not supposed to be there unless you're dead. See? So as long as I'm alive, I don't need to even think or go back to where I came from. I promised them. They just told me, hey, you got to get out of here. You don't belong here. That's it. And you could see that if you don't follow their directions, you might have time. You might have a hard time in dealing with the next dimension of life. Right now, I'm practicing going to church, so I have some place that I could be confident about in the afterlife. I'd rather study God than the devil.
going to church gives you more confidence about the afterlife?
Yeah, because you meditate day and night on a situation that's good. Yeah, and so then you have direction after the next dimension, where if you don't have a direction, you end up at the crossroads with all these people, and you wouldn't believe how many people are at the crossroads, man. You don't see them until your mind's distorted. And so, is it an imagination? No, these are real. It's what they call. There's a name for it, and it's not heaven. It's not hell. It's
Purgatory?
well, it's a place they call.
That's kind of like the crossroads, right?
Yeah, the crossroads is in between heaven and hell. Okay, and there's just so many. They piled up in my room so much that I did the unforgivable. I can't talk about it. I'm a Marine, and nobody's at my house anymore or my apartment anymore. Like today's a new start of my life. It's kind of funny we're having this interview on the first day of the fourth quarter of my life. Um, I used to run the ball. I used to box. I used to do a lot of stuff. So next question, please.
Yeah. Um,
I haven't seen Crossroad people in a long time. Since I told the guys I wasn't coming back.
is there a way to raise your confidence about the afterlife? It being real?
Oh, I know it's real. It's just that you can't go. I got lucky and see, I was lonely. As a friend, I didn't have a female, and I didn't even have a friend, and so I was so lonely. I figured out why I was gullible to the afterlife, because I was on the fourth level of an apartment that I've never been that high up, but it offers different dimensions. But anyway,
Is there
I
is there
just got lucky and found out if you don't if you don't prepare for the next life, uh, you'll be at the crossroads, trapped. I was thinking, you know, if you confess. Anyway, next question.
I guess what I'm curious about is what would have to happen for you to be more confident in the afterlife being real?
Oh, I already know it's real. That's why I'm staying out of it. I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay. Is there anything that would lower your confidence in it?
No, I already know it's real. It's where you go if you don't prepare to go anywhere. You end up in, they got a name for it in the Bible. It's not heaven or hell. It's in between. It's called limbo or
So there's nothing.
limbo. It's called limbo.
Limbo. Okay.
Yeah, but when I got right down to it, the people were sitting down. They looked all human to me, but come to find out they were spirits.
So there's no way to raise or lower your confidence in the afterlife. Would that be fair to say?
Well, it's real. I mean, it's been told to me as a Catholic in Sunday school. There's a limbo in between heaven and hell. There's just different name. Crossroads is a different name for what the Bible has.
Mhm.
So it's already everybody knows where it's at and what they represent. It's not new, so you don't have to wonder about limbo. It's a place where you go without representation, but you don't. It doesn't say that in the Bible, um, and so if you don't have a place to go to, you end up at the crossroads where everybody goes with because they've never. That's what I learned from them. Prepare for the next life, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't know that I have to prepare for the next life because I never seen that side of the dimension of the after you pass over. There's three places you go, or there's more than three. Hopefully, hopefully go to heaven or hell, and see if you're in hell, you'll be rescued by a guardian angel from heaven.
Mm.
If you confess, if you have confession with God and make it right, he might give you a pass. And so they'll send someone down to rescue you from hell. That's most of the people end up in hell are rescued, but And I wouldn't want to be the one that's not.
Do you know anybody who does not believe in the afterlife?
Yeah, everybody I've talked to, because they don't see it. They don't see how I could see it.
Mhm.
Like the staff members, and that's why I think this place where I stay is some of it's. I know for a fact some of the people coming in my bedroom are real and they're painted up. At first, I seen that, and but then again, the staff, they've changed, and it's really happened that there is real spirits I've talked to. And so the people coming in, they don't come in no more, because I could tell. My psychic ability could tell that's an actor. They've sent him in because they're trying to get me out of there. Because you're not supposed to stay at this place. You're supposed to use it to advance with. But I'm not advancing. I'm staying there, and they don't like. But see, in the Marine Corps contract, the Marines, um, when they sign up for this place, it's for life. You don't have to pay rent, but I'm paying rent. Uh, but the place is for Marines. They get the fourth floor and they get to stay for life. Where in the other contracts, except for the Navy SEAL, they get the same contract the Marines get. They once they sign up for this place, they can't be kicked out unless there's a sufficient reason, like drug possession, homicide, and so on. They can't be kicked out because they don't pay rent or anything. And every branch of the military doesn't have the same contract that the Marines have, because we're the tip of the sword. Did you know in every city in Iraq and Iran, every city in those countries, there was 100 Marines? Okay, because that was our policy. Hit them with the Marines, and once you get 100 strong, move to the next city. And the Army, don't get me wrong, every branch is honored by Special Forces. They would come up, every building they would come up to, they'd ask the Marines if they can occupy it, unless they took it. So anyway, that's how that works.
Okay, I've got one more question, and then we can wrap up, and I'll
Okay.
let you go.
Yeah, these are pretty. This is a pretty intense interview. I'm very surprised at your intelligence, and this is big. Go ahead.
Cool. Um, Generally speaking, what percentage of your beliefs would you prefer to be true?
I'm going 100% with everything I said. I can't. I can't sugarcoat anything. Uh,
Cool. Okay.
thank
Cool.
you. Thank you for the interview.
Absolutely. Thanks
But
so
I'm
much for
trying,
stopping.
because I'm not. I don't even know how this happened. It's an act of. This is an act from the Lord Jesus Christ. Because on the first day of my fourth quarter, Uh, the cameras are here. I feel like I'm back in the
Showbiz.
Sports Illustrated,
Oh.
and well, yeah, I don't even know if you heard of Keith Jackson or Howard Cosell, but they were big sports announcers when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, and so you're probably 32,
Close.
and so you got a beautiful future, and I'm looking forward to possibly seeing you again. I'll just come down here, and maybe you'll be working out or something, because my life's turning around from interviewing crossroad people. I'm not going to make that mistake of wanting a friend that bad to where I have to break the code of dimensions, and I believe if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be alive right now, because she's from Ireland, and they were very tight with religion. And so she's the biggest story of my life was my mom taking care of me, and we didn't get along in the physical world. But what happened after she passed away and they were hunting me, my ex-wife was hunting me by the mob. That lady, my mom, that we didn't get along, turned out to be the best mom in the world. She, in her spirit, saved my life. Every time they were around me, she woke me up. I know your mom's the only one that can get a hold of you after life because of the birth combination. And so she saved my life. Here I am talking to you.
Well, I appreciate
Thanks,
you
man.
stopping. My
Yeah.
name's David,
David?
and your name's Jimmy.
Well, we'll go by Jimmy
We'll go by
Max.
Jimmy. And you're okay if this goes on YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah. I got nothing to hide. I got God on my side now, and my life's. So we have to do it. If we did an interview on my personal life with my marriage, it would be so incredibly. I shouldn't bring it back, but anyway, we're not doing it. So
maybe next time
right.
we'll
Well, maybe next time you have a show, I can get on.
we'll talk about something else.
Right. Well.
But yeah, if you see me again, we can have another chat
Well,
sometime.
this is basically your. You might hang out here every now and then. You know, it's just like a chick. Her name. I met her the other day. Her name was Love. I said, you keep on dropping by, and lo and behold, we should run into each other sometime with a name like Love. I'm not really concentrating on that, but a man's got to have a companion, or you'll run into trouble like I have with the Crossroads. You know, I had no business dealing with those people, but I figured I was lonely. I needed a friend. No, that doesn't have that. That's not how that works. But I interviewed people from Iraq, uh, from Arabia. You know, how did they get in my room? You know, but you couldn't tell that they were see-through. In my room, they were there, but they weren't physical. I guess it could be all in the perception of your capacity to psychic education.
It's really coming down.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks
You
again.
got to touch up it now. Is what's going to happen to you when spirits get around you now? You'll sense them, and you know the rest will happen naturally. So you touching base with this dimension is definitely an education. So you'll be blessed with it, and you know, just keep it to yourself because no one's going to believe it.
It's really coming down. Do you have something in mind?
Yeah, what you got today was incredibly transparent and the truth, but the average person doesn't have the capacity that you have as a person of knowledge, and it's going to go places. Like I said, you're going somewhere with this. You know.
I appreciate all your kind words.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's very few people around. You know, if you look, there's no Johnny Carson no more. You know, you remember Johnny Carson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's nobody. I don't see big people in. Oh, like the one guy down in L.A. What's Charlie Stone? His name's you know, he's a news guy for NBC. You know. Anyway.
Cool. Well, I'll let you go.
Yeah.
Back to your
Yeah,
walk.
man. All right, man. Take care.
Yeah, take care. We'll see you later.
Yeah, I was gonna get my shirt wet. So what you do is to go get it wet.
See ya.